everyone, long time no talk. I'm Eric, and today we're going to be reviewing a project called Tone Melody. And in this project, we're going to be using an electrical component called the piezo speaker. And we're typically going to be using the passive buzzer, which you'll be able to find in your Arduino kit. A passive buzzer looks like this. It has a little plus sign which indicates the positive lead of the passive buzzer. So this is the item that we'll be using mainly for this project. So buzzers can be found in alarm devices, computers, timers, and confirmation of user input such as a mouse click or keystroke. So in everyday electronic items, there are a lot of usage for buzzers. And buzzers utilize a material called piezoelectric that changes shape when you apply electric to it. So here's an example of a piezoelectric. So the reason why they use this is because the faster you bend this material, the higher the pitch of the noise is produced, which we call frequency. So essentially, the faster you bend the material, or a higher frequency, means directly relates to a higher pitch. So by controlling the bend of this material, we can control a pitch of this buzzer and make songs with it, which we'll be doing later. So you might ask, Eric, how are we going to use this piezo speaker to even make sounds in the first place? So we're going to be following this general formula. Time high is equals to period divided by 2 is equals to 1 divided by 2 times tone frequency. So this is the general equation that we're going to be using. And remember that frequency that I introduced? So frequency is again 1 over period, which is why they flip it twice for you guys right here. So using this equation, we can create a table like this. So if you wanted, for anyone who plays music, you guys will know that in a musical standpoint, there are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And these are the main notes for music. So if you want to have play this note, we would need 261 hertz, which means that it's 3830 in period and time high 1915. So using this general formula, as you can see, we can create this long equation as follows and create notes. So yeah, now that you get this basic instruction and basic knowledge on how to do so, we'll be looking at the schematic now. So the schematic is fairly simple. It's just more that the code is more complicated. But yeah, this circuit is fairly simple. We have a piezo speaker or a passive buzzer. As you can see, there's a small plus positive sign right here, and you'll need to use this to get an indication of where to put your wire from the 9 port. So from port 9, it connects to the positive lead, which is in this green section right here, and in the other lead, which is the negative, it connects to ground to this port. If you just don't want to have too many wires, then you can just simply wire this ground to the ground port right here as well. So again, it's really your own preference, but try to follow this ground line. This is good practice to follow it like this. And remember to follow the wire from the positive side to port 9. So now that we finished this, let's go directly to our code. Once you're finished with your schematics, now then open your Arduino IDE and let's start coding. Okay, so our objective for this project is to play the happy birthday song using the piezo speaker. So let's just start. First of all, let's initialize our port for the speaker. So I'm going to just call it speaker pin equals 9 because we're using the port 9 in the Arduino. If you used another port, then change it accordingly, of course. So first things first, we will be using multiple methods in this to simplify our code and make our main method more simpler. So first of all, we would need to play notes accordingly, right? So in order to play notes, we'll create a method called play note and have the parameters char note and int duration. I realized that there's a Python course going as well, and if you follow that, you might have a little knowledge in what methods and parameters are. So void means that we're not returning anything. Play note is just simply the name of the method. We're passing parameters called a note, which is a character variable type, and duration, which is an int variable type. So knowing that, we're going first make an array, or I think it's called list in Arduino, and we're simply going to put all of the notes that we're going to be using in our table like this. So if you remember the table that I showed a few minutes ago, we're going to try to be following that and all the data that we inputted in the table. So just manually put your the letters like this. In this case, I made an uppercase C because we're having two different frequencies of C's, right? There's a higher pitch C in this scenario. So knowing that, using the same index, right, we're going to create another list in the int variable type. And in this scenario, we're going to be making, putting the corresponding tone numbers or hertz numbers. Again, look at the table back again to really understand what numbers that I'm using. So what you might be wondering, what did I do here? Simply saying, I made each index, each corresponding index have their number. So for C, it's 1915, for D, it's 1700, for E, it's 1519, and so on. And as you can see, the size of the list are the exact same because we're just putting one number for each name, right? Each music name. So knowing that, we're going to be playing the note when they ask. So let me just explain this more in depth after I finish this these lines. So we're using a for loop in this scenario. And let me just do this. Okay, so what did I do here? First of all, we're passing a parameter. From our loop, we're going to be passing parameters of the note and how long we want to play the certain note. So once we pass through here, that means it's a instant variable or a local variable within our method. So when we have the name corresponds to a note through our for loop, then we play that tone for a certain long method of time. And we do that by sending these parameters to another method, which we're going to make soon. So now that we made play note, let's make another method called play tone to play the tones that we stated in here. So in here, we're going to make void play tone, right? Again, we're going to make void because we're not returning anything. We're simply just playing it directly. And we're going to be using a long instead because the durations are going to be long. It's going to be a lot of digits. And we're also going to have the index gradually increase by 2. So we're going to be writing that the speaker pin is high, delay microseconds tone, digital write speaker pin low, and delay microseconds tone, right? So right here, once we send a parameter right here, it's going to find the note and play the note and send parameters to this method, which will literally play the note for us. So we use methods to split off and divvy up our actions so that it's easier to read. So once we finish this, we're going to go to our setup now and then just set up our speaker pin as output. Remember that we made a speaker pin variable up top and we're setting it as output simply. Now after we finish that, let's go up top and create more variables. So first of all, we want to play a song, right? And in order for us to play a song, we need to create a certain amount of order of notes, right? So first of all, in order to play the happy birthday song, we will have the length of 15 notes. And the little notes that are going to play will be C, C, G, G, A, A, G, F, F, E, E, D, D, C. And we're going to put a space. And once we put a space, that indicates that we're going to put a rest or a break. So if you want to play any other song, like the Star Wars theme, for example, find the notes that are played and simply change the length and change the notes. and this is going to be the happy birthday song, by the way. Right? And the beats, right, is going to represent how long we're going to play each note. Okay? So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 characters, right? And similar, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 characters as well. And these represent the breaks that correspond for each note. Okay, and we're going to set the tempo as 300. Okay, now we did all the difficult stuff, so all we have to do is now actually play the song. So let me just bring it up here. So in the loop function, we're simply going to run another for loop. There's a lot of for loops this time, so make sure to understand for loops carefully. And we're going to simply play. So first of all, if the notes, right, in our notes up top, right, from here, if the note is a simple blank, we're going to consider that as a rest, right? And because we consider that as a rest, we're going to simply delay our speaker times tempo. And we're multiplying by tempo because that's the tempo variable that we set up top. So if you want faster, you change the tempo speed as well. Otherwise, right, we're simply going to play the note. So we play the note, notes I. So we're sending this parameter to our methods up top, the play note method up top right here, right? And then after we finish with this, we're simply going to delay a certain time. So we want to have pause between notes. So once we're finished with this, you simply verify and upload your thing to your code. And then there you go, you guys are completely finished. Okay, thank you guys for listening. If you have any question, feel free to email me or comment down below, and I'll try to answer any of your questions. Thank you guys once again, and have fun.